The elbow lever is a static beginner gymnastics exercise where you need to hold your whole body horizontally, supporting on your hands with bent arms. We can say that this exercise is the planche of the beginners. In my opinion, it's a really underrated exercise and it teaches you a lot that you benefit from in the planche later. For this exercise, you need joint preparation and some basic strength and balance. You can do the elbow lever on parallettes, on the ground, or on rings. In my opinion, this is the right order in terms of difficulty. This is a relatively easy exercise, but surprisingly helps a lot for the planche. You'll experience to hold your entire body and legs up horizontally for the first time, just like in the planche. In my opinion, one of the most important benefits that the elbow lever teaches you, and you can implement it in the planche, is the rounded back position. The depressed and abducted scapula position and the rounded back are crucial in the planche, and the best thing is that the elbow lever teaches you this move without you even noticing it. And this is because you really need to do this only to get into the starting position. In the elbow lever, you need to support with your elbows on your hip bones to be able to hold the right position. To do this, you really need to round your upper back. This is really important, and you may have not noticed it, but when athletes do the planche, they pay attention to the rounded back with the right scapula position and tight core. In the elbow lever, this should be automatic, because if you don't do this, your elbows slip to the side and it's going to be much harder to hold the position. I'm going to talk about the right technique and progressions, but before that, let's check the joint preparation prerequisites of the elbow lever. You need to prepare your wrists, elbows, scapulas, shoulders, and core. I made videos about all these areas that you can find on the channel. Besides the joint preparation, the other prerequisite of the elbow lever is a basic pushing strength that you can build up with push-ups that you can also find several videos about. Now, let's see the key points of the elbow lever. If you're doing it on the ground, start from kneeling. If you're doing it on parallettes, start from squat. And if you're doing it on the rings, you can lower the rings to the same height as the parallettes, or you can start in straight arm support. Place your hands narrower than shoulder width with outward looking fingers on the ground, the same narrow distance with the parallettes, and on the rings, turn the rings to be in line in front of your body. Depress and abduct your scapulas, round your back, and do posterior pelvic tilt with tight abs and glutes. Place your elbows to your hip bones or the inner side of the hip bones. From here, lean to your hands while you're extending and closing your legs. If you do this on an elevated surface or rings, this movement is going to be a simple forward lean with straight body. Try to hold the balance with your hands. Your elbows need to be approximately in 120 degrees while you're holding your body straight and tight. Breathe normally through your nose during the exercise, don't hold your breath. This is the right implementation. Keep in mind that the elbow lever is like a seesaw. You need to support on your hands while your body is supported on your elbows, and you need to keep the fulcrum in the middle depending on how you hold your legs. If you draw a line upwards from your hands and we consider the upper body and lower body as two leverages, you have to keep the balance between those two leverages. Since the length of your upper body is fixed, you can play with the length of your legs. You can adjust your elbow angle according to the leg position. The angle of the elbow flexion will be different in a tuck elbow lever than in a full elbow lever. This is how you need to adjust it. This is also how you can fix the line if your elbow lever is not parallel to the ground. If you're a beginner, start to practice on medium-sized parallettes, because there you can get access to the right position more easily and you have more room for your legs. If you don't have parallettes, you can practice on higher surface like a table or bench. Now, with these in mind, let's see the progressions, how you can build up the elbow lever. Before you start practicing the elbow lever, I suggest to try out the right arm position. You can do this in standing. Depress and abduct your scapulas, round your back, do posterior pelvic tilt with tight abs and glutes. Place your elbows to your hip bones or the inner side of your hip bones. Bend your elbows in 90 degrees. This is the right arm position. The next progression is the tuck elbow lever with leg elevations. Here, you need to implement the arm position you learned before. Start from squat and keep the parallettes narrow. This is how you can get into the right position more easily. From the squat, you can get into the right position with keeping your legs on the ground. If you feel this position stable, you can elevate your legs controlled and try to hold the balance. Here, you need to keep your elbows in 90 degrees. Do 10 reps 3 times. The goal is to feel the balance as you hold the tuck elbow lever. The third progression is the tuck elbow lever. Here, you need to pay attention to the previous key points, but now the goal is to do longer holds with keeping the balance. Start from squat, keep the parallettes narrow. If you got into the right position, elevate your legs, keep them bent, and hold the tuck elbow lever. Do 30 seconds hold 3 times and step to the next progression. The fourth progression is the straddle elbow lever. Here, you need to unfold the body even more, and as I mentioned, you need to extend your elbows a little more. Do everything the same way as you did in the previous progression. In the tuck elbow lever, your elbows need to be 90 degrees, and as you extend your legs into straddle, you need to slightly extend your elbows. If you don't extend your arms and you just extend your legs, you will fall down to the leg side. When you're doing the straddle elbow lever, you may feel cramping in your hip abductors and the glutes. This is totally normal. Don't be surprised if you have never used your muscles like this before. It's good to get used to this in the planche perspective as well. Do 20 seconds hold 3 times. The final progression is the full elbow lever. If you can do the straddle elbow lever with confidence, you just need to close your legs controlled and extend your elbows a little more. Pay attention to the key points and you'll be able to do it in no time. A common mistake is the wrong positioning of the arms and the elbows slip to the side. I know it's an uncomfortable position and it can irritate your skin, etc., but if you know how to do it right, it makes the whole exercise a lot easier. The other very common mistake is rushing. Since we're talking about a balancing exercise, you need to concentrate and rushing won't help. You should work with slow, controlled movements and focus on balancing. As I mentioned, if you extend your legs but you keep your elbows at a 90-degree angle, you will lean back, you won't maintain the balance. However, if you pay attention to what has been said, you will succeed. If you want to master the joint preparation basics I mentioned earlier within a comprehensive program, as well as build static and dynamic fundamentals and advanced skills in a complete system that has been successfully used by thousands of people, download the Gymnastics Method app in the App Store or Google Play Store by clicking the link below, become a member, and get full access to all programs, tutorials, daily workouts, and much more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. If you haven't watched my earlier videos about joint preparation and basics, watch the videos on the end screen now.